disappearance of Mengqi Ji. Investigators have searched the Lamine River in Cooper County looking for her body, but no remains were found.
Elledge also documents that he believes Ji was trying to gaslight and manipulate him, and that all she cared about was teaching their daughter how to speak Chinese.
Hey, Joe.
Hi.
Hey, it's Officer Joseph. So you said took her purse with her, right?
Yeah.
Phone.
Yeah, phones. Do you want it? It's here.
Police first made contact with Joe Elledge on October 10, 2019, after the disappearance of his 28-year-old wife, Mengqi Ji. Joe stated that on the night of October 8th, he had gone to sleep with Mengqi around 11 to 11:30 p.m. The next morning, he woke up to find her gone, vanished without a trace. Her phone and wedding ring were left behind on a table, and she had seemingly disappeared without taking any personal items.
Her phone and her wedding ring were both just left on that table. I can't unlock her phone. It's locked and I don't know the password.
I just hope she's safe. I really hope that she can find herself and come back to me and Anna, and we can just have a big long talk, and that's all we need, but we can work things out.
Mengqi, a young mother of a 1-year-old daughter, was a successful engineer and devoted mother. She had a bright future and a stable life with Joe on the surface.
You talk too much. You need to know.
You don't listen enough. You need to know when to listen. I don't like being married to you. I don't like living with you. It's been a terrible relationship. I'm eager to end it.
Joe and Mengqi had married quickly, just 2 weeks after Joe proposed to her at Rockbridge Memorial State Park, on a trail known as the Devil's Ice Box. The rush to marry came from Mengqi's visa nearing expiration, highlighting the complex power dynamics immigration status could bring to a marriage. Mengqi, originally from China, had excelled in her studies, earning a master's degree in mechanical and aerospace engineering from the University of Missouri. She had even secured a job with a company where Joe also worked. But 5 months into their marriage, Mengqi became pregnant, and the couple decided she would stay home to care for their child, making her more isolated, especially since Joe had quit working to focus on school.
I know she was talking to somebody else on the side, and whatever she's doing, I just hope she's safe.
As the days passed, Mengqi's parents, living in China, grew worried when their daughter stopped calling, a daily ritual between mother and daughter.
Yeah, I just hope that she's safe. I hope that she's at least with somebody who cares for her, enough to keep her safe. And
Joe, who didn't initially seem concerned, eventually reported his wife missing to the police. But instead of calling 911, he used the non-emergency 311 number.
I need to file a missing person report.
According to Joe, he had gone on 2 long drives the day after Mengqi disappeared, supposedly looking for new hiking trails, with their baby in the back seat of Mengqi's car.
There's just this big area that's all green on the Google Maps. And so I wanted to go and see if there were walking paths back there.
Joe's casual behavior raised red flags with law enforcement.
Did you lock your door when you left the apartment?
Yeah.
If she comes home, how's she gonna get back in? You've got her keys in her car, her phone's in the house, she can't even call anybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
I actually found this earlier. It's like a journal, and it talks about her having like some secret love. I think he's in China right now.
I'd like to discuss our relationship, and I am kind of ready to discuss the end of it as well.
I asked her about 3 times, who does she mean? And her answer was just, quote, me. She wouldn't tell me who she was meeting or where she was going, what she was doing. And then the last paragraph said, it's sad though that I have no interest in my husband.
There was no evidence Mengqi had run off with the man from China with whom she had been having an online affair, and those close to her knew she would never abandon her daughter.
Right now what's happening is just more of what I don't want.
Communication.
Lack of it.
We didn't have any big fights. I think the last big fight was actually the week before. It wasn't really a big fight. I was doing it kind of slow. I was trying to drag it out because I wanted to extend the amount of time that we were together doing something.
During their investigation, police discovered 10 hours of secretly recorded conversations between Joe and Mengqi.
Should I mention in court that you're abusive to me? Should I ask them to deport you?
Revealing the cracks in their marriage.
If you keep acting this way, I've told you before, it ain't gonna be pretty. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make me go crazy so that you can call the police on me and take my baby away from me? You want me to break? You want me to hurt somebody?
One of these recordings was particularly alarming, an argument from October 2018 in which Joe verbally exploded at Mengqi over her parents' visit to their home.
I want your mom here. Your mom is causing problems. Your mom should me.
Her parents had flown in from China to help with their newborn, a tradition in Chinese culture.
If I don't take care of my own body, my own health, it's not responsible for me or their family.
I agree.
She's helping me to do that, and I know it.
Joe, who grew increasingly frustrated with their presence, was enraged when Mengqi and her mother spoke in Chinese, which he didn't understand. He eventually demanded that Mengqi's mother leave the house permanently.
I don't like that woman. And I don't think you should either. There's gonna be some problem if you try to saying, I'm gonna make it go away.
The problem.
You bet your on that.
You're not the God.
I am the God. I say, Mom, don't stay here. She don't stay here. You think you're so empowered because of this society. You're still just a woman.
By late October, 2 weeks after Mengqi's disappearance, the Columbia Police Department officially opened a criminal investigation. Joe was arrested, not in direct connection with his wife's disappearance, but for child abuse, as police noted bruising on their baby daughter.
We have become aware that there was some bruising. So, do you know what we're talking about?
Yep.
Tell me exactly what happened.
She was crying a lot one night. I think I just pinched her butt a little bit.
While searching the couple's apartment, detectives discovered handwritten notes in Joe's backpack, including what appeared to be a script on how to respond to police and reporters. In one note, Joe reminded himself to speak about Mengqi in the present tense, a peculiar detail for someone claiming his wife had simply left.
And she's really, she's very, very detail-oriented. And that's something that I honestly didn't see a lot.
The turning point in the investigation came when detectives obtained Joe's cell phone records, revealing that he had spent 30 minutes by the Lamine River the day Mengqi went missing, information he had failed to share.
He just went driving me in. It was a nice day, and so I just wanted to go out.
Police searched the area for months, convinced that Mengqi's body was nearby, but found nothing. The case seemed to be at a dead end. Then, in early 2021, nearly a year and a half after Mengqi's disappearance, a hiker made a chilling discovery in Rockbridge Memorial State Park. In this very park, Joe had proposed to her. The hiker stumbled upon a purse, shoes, and what appeared to be a skull buried in a shallow grave. The remains were confirmed to be Mengqi's, but tragically, the cause of death could not be determined. Her body was too decomposed, though the medical examiner noted that several of her ribs had been broken entirely through, likely from a violent attack. As the case progressed, investigators began piecing together a vital clue: the dirt and mud on Joe's boots. During the search of his apartment in October 2019, detectives had seized a pair of his boots covered in mud. Initially, they weren't sure if the boots would be relevant, but as the investigation advanced, they became crucial. Upon further analysis, forensic scientists identified something extraordinary in the mud: remnants of juniper tree needles and other vegetation. Investigators sent the boots to the Missouri Botanical Garden, where forensic botanists conducted a highly specialized type of DNA analysis. Much like human DNA, plants also have unique genetic markers, and scientists at the lab carefully extracted DNA from the juniper needles found on Joe's boots.
Every living organism on the planet has DNA.
Next, investigators needed to collect reference samples from the site where Mengqi's body was discovered. They gathered juniper tree needles from the surrounding area near the grave, carefully storing and numbering each sample. Back at the lab, the forensic team compared the DNA from the juniper needles on Joe's boots To those from the crime scene, the results were undeniable: a match. The juniper DNA found on Joe's boots perfectly matched the DNA of the juniper trees surrounding Mengqi's burial site. This groundbreaking use of tree DNA provided irrefutable evidence that Joe had been at the scene where Mengqi's body was buried. The forensic evidence was as reliable as human DNA or fingerprints, and it sealed Joe's fate. This case marked only the second time in history that plant DNA had been used as key evidence in a murder trial. The scientific precision with which investigators matched the vegetation from Joe's boots to the gravesite was crucial in proving his involvement. On November 1st, 2021, Joe Elledge went to trial for the murder of his wife.
She would raise her voice, yelled, and she wouldn't listen to me very well.
Did you maybe stand up on top of her and jump on top of her back?
No.
Did you suffocate her?
No.
Cornered by the DNA evidence, Joe admitted to burying Mengqi's body, but claimed her death was accidental. He described an argument that escalated when Mengqi lunged at him, and he pushed her into a countertop, allegedly causing the injuries that broke her ribs.
That hurt us. That make us huge pain and huge sorrow.
It's very disturbing. It's heartbreaking because it's so out of his character.
Joe's story, however, did not convince the jury, who believed that the murder was intentional, not accidental. The final blow came when prosecutors presented the evidence linking Joe's boots to the juniper trees near the shallow grave where Mengqi's body had been found. With this irrefutable proof, Joe could no longer maintain his claims of innocence. On November 11th, 2021, after 7 hours of deliberation, the jury returned its verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Joseph Dwayne Elledge, guilty of murder in the second degree. We, the jury, declare the punishment for a term of 28 years.
Thanks in large part to the evidence provided by a tree's DNA, a key that unlocked the mystery of Mengqi Ji's tragic death.